welcome to my. I do not know how to do this. I am not built for this. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So, if you don't know me, which why would you? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am very excited to be starting this. Why am I starting a YouTube channel? Because I'm lonely and I have no friends. I like to talk. Let's get into the video, shall we? So, these are some books. Clearly, they are books, you idiot. These are very underrated books. Books I have never seen on booktok that I am going to be reviewing. Not just reviewing, I will be reading their reviews on Goodreads and then telling you what I personally think of them. If you have read some of these and if I like them, we should be friends. And if I don't like them and if you like them, I'm sorry. So without further ado, let us get on to the video. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Poemsia by Lang Leaf. I have not yet seen the reviews for this. I will leave the synopsis up on the screen somewhere so you guys can see it. The text bubble here says, when the fame comes, it will swallow you up like a tsunami. You won't see it coming until it's already here. I am waiting for my fame. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the worst Goodreads review for the book and then give you my thoughts about the book. I wrote this you can't see it, I'll put it up here somewhere. It's a very long review and it's a 1-star review. So, let's read it. I very rarely give out 1-star reviews. If I hate a book enough to 1-star it, I usually do not finish and I don't read it at all. For some reason, I was adamant that I would see this one through to the bitter end. Very brave. Usually, if I don't like a book, I cannot finish it. I used to feel so bad about that, and I used to force myself to finish books even though I did not like. Then I realized, why? I'm not being punished for not finishing a book. If I don't like it, I don't like it. Says the one who has written 2 books, guys. Please go buy my books. Now for my review, I don't think the writing was very well. I have no right to judge. My mother told me, I have no right to judge anyone's writing, no matter what I am. But the style is something very common. The plot was not very suspenseful. It was kind of predictable, but I liked the general theme of the book because it highlights the girl wanting to become a poet and everything. I would still give this a 4-star. If you want to pick it up, it's like a quick, easy read. It's not very long. It's just 300-ish pages. So it's a 1-page read if you are like in a slump and you don't want to read any heavy books. If you just want to try Lang Leaf's writing, I think this would be a good book to start. So that's the first underrated book. The second book I am reviewing is The Silence That Binds Us by Joanna Ho. And personally, I am a very big fan of this book. Not only because of the plot. The plot is very good. It dives into themes about mental health, trauma. Trigger warning, there are mentions of like mental health issues, suicides, and deep stuff like that against people and communities. So I would be cautious if those things trigger you. But personally, I love this genre. I knew like even the cover design is so nice. I will leave the synopsis up for you on the screen. But this is a very well written book and it highlights the modern problems very well. Okay, the one person who gave it a 1-star wrote that they did not finish it and that it was too slow paced for them. Personally, this book also got a 4-star for me, personally because I liked how it was written. It is a little slow paced and it feels a little repetitive as you go towards the end because the same issue and how different cultures react to suicide gets repeated because that's the main theme of the book. But I would suggest reading it. And the person who committed suicide, their story gets a little lost in between, I would say, because if you're too involved in the storyline about the different topics discussed, you would tend to forget the main storyline. But I still think it's a good read. It's not a fast-paced read like Poemsia. It is a little slow-paced, and I think you'll need a couple of days. And a very good thing about this book I like is it has poems inside of the book written by the main character and text receipts and stuff. So yeah, The Silence That Binds Us by Joanna Hope. The next book is Flawless by Lara Chapman. I have never seen this book anywhere, in any bookstores, never heard anyone read it. My mom gave it to me actually. It's a really old book. My mom gave it from her bookshelf when I was in 7th or 8th grade. And Goodreads has no reviews for it. Zero. Even if you type Flawless, it is not one of the books to come up. You have to write the name of the author, Lara Chapman, and there are zero community reviews. Personally, I love this book. I have read this book 3 times. So it's a love story. Basically, the main character is someone who doesn't think she's very pretty and everything. So if you can see the cover, the Flawless is, say hi to my mom, everyone. So if you can see the cover, the Flawless word is right where your nose would be. So the main character is very insecure about her nose. And her best friend, it's kind of a cliche story. Her best friend is a gorgeous girl at school, very pretty, and she expects everyone to fall in love with her and everything, right? So she starts talking to a guy as her best friend, right? And the guy falls in love with her because he does not know that the letters and everything were being written by her and not her best friend. So, what did I say? He thought the letters written by her were being written by her best friend and not her. And then when he finds out it's her, he realizes that he loves her and not her best friend. Very good romance book. And I'm pretty sure there was a speech at the end of this. Yeah, there is a speech at the end of the very last pages where she gives a speech in front of the whole class that she wrote about her best friend, but it was about how you are not loyal to yourself and everything. But yeah, I would really recommend this. I also think this is a fast-paced book, and I think every teenage girl should read it once. Not only because it's a romance novel, but also because it highlights the matter of insecurities and how you don't see yourself the way others see you. Because you always pinpoint your insecurities, your flaws, when others cannot see it. So, yeah, I would recommend this. I really love this book. Next, I'm going to be talking about 2 books, Shopaholic and Sister and Shopaholic and Baby by Sophie Kinsella. I'll talk about the Shopaholic and Sister one first because these are kind of a series. I'm sure you can read it as standalone because I'm pretty sure there are more books before this one that I don't own and I have never read. But I would recommend reading this before this. It clicks the dots more easily. This is a very funny read. I read this a long time ago, so I don't remember much of it, but I do remember how much I did enjoy reading this because it was a very light-hearted read. Girl, I cannot take the main character's sister seriously. Okay, maybe she have. Let's go on to the reviews. Someone says the main character is too annoying to read about. It's the same crap over and over again. And after 3 books of reading the same jokes, she's no longer funny. Well, good for me, I have not read 3 books. I still think she's funny. Or my humor is just broken. Either or. So, for both of these books, I would give them a 3-star. Maybe because I don't really remember it, but because, yeah, leave the synopsis up for you to read it. So, yeah, I do like this book, but if you are someone who likes a little more like upgraded style of writing. Like if you have ever read this style of writing, the more mature version of writing, I think you would find this little juvenile because the writing is a little juvenile, which makes sense because it's supposed to be for kids. Right? That's about this book. As it's my laptop running out of charge, it is. But as for this book, I think I like this one more than that one. So obviously, Shopaholic and Baby. Can the title get any more clearer? 3 stars, underrated books. I mean, obviously very underrated, but I think they are decent enough. The next books I'm going to be talking about are these 3. These are a series. I don't think you can read this standalone because it would get really confusing because the series itself is confusing when you read it in series. So this is the Dead Beautiful series by Jan Woon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I am so sorry. So the series, it has 3 books: Dead Beautiful, Life Eternal, and Love Reborn. Personally, my favorite is Life Eternal. Yeah, I would give this like a 3.5 stars. It definitely had me hooked. I'm sure. I think I finished all these in a week. And I think I read these in like 9th or 10th grade. COVID. I read so many books during COVID. Where did that girl go? Now all I do is scroll Instagram. Anyway, the synopsis, as the other books, I'll put it on the screen. So it's about like, it's a very cliche story. I'm a big cliche fan. What do you expect? I used to read Wattpad growing up. I was being sold One Direction on Wattpad. But it's very cliche. If you have read the Vampire Academy series, which I never finished by the way, I only did 3 books of that too. Or if you have watched the Vampire Diaries, which I'm sure many of you have, it's very cliche. It's just the undead here. So the girl, as usual, cliche and average girl, who goes to an academy, right? And then she finds a guy named Dante. Also, I love that name, Dante. It reminds me of Four from Divergent. Have you guys read Divergent? Cliche, but a fun read. If you are into like books, dystopian genre, like Divergent, everything, you would enjoy this. I like the setting of the book and the suspense. The writing is a little bit repetitive with words. A lot of the use of the word startled, shocked, confused. That's a little repetitive, but I would suggest this if you are a fan of that dystopian genre. Now for the last one. So this is the last book I'll be talking about, All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda. I do not care about the reviews for this one. Okay, this personally is a 5-star review, and it's not even because of the plot. I mean, the plot is good. Obviously, the plot is good, the writing is good, but it's because of how it is written. The narrative, it's written in the opposite way. Like it's narrated from the end to the beginning, and the ending isn't like predictable. The ending is like, oh, what happened? It leaves you to contemplate the ending and make up your own. That reminds me of The Silent Patient. If you guys have read The Silent Patient, the ending is amazing. It hit me in the face. So let us check the reviews for this. I cannot put this review on the screen because it has curse words and spoilers. So the person did not like it, and one point I do agree with the person is the people in the book were terrible people. The main character, the family, they were terrible people. I will leave the synopsis up for you as usual. So it's basically about a girl who left her hometown, right? And she made a very successful life of herself in Philadelphia. But then she has to come back for a mysterious case and everything about her best friend. So I would really recommend this. I love this book. Thriller, a good narration, a very unique style that I have not read anywhere else, from telling the story backwards. Apparently, it's the same style in The Secret History, but I might be wrong because I never finished that book. I plan to, I swear. I know it's a really popular book, but guys, my attention span has gone to hell. Okay, so that was my underrated books reviews. Let me know if you have read any of these. Please don't fall. Let me know if you have read any of these books. I will. So these are the books. And if you want to read poetry or a very poorly written novel, I have written 2 books. One of them is named The Backspaced Feelings, which is my poetry book, and one of them is The Path She Could Have Taken, which is my novel. But for now, that will be all. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked my first YouTube video. Thank you for watching again. Thank you for listening to me yell. And I hope I will post again. And I hope I'll see you next time. Bye.